That's my half-assed attempt at trying to cut a taper on a temporary jig. I can do better than that. Hey, I'm Michael, and this is Make Your Play. I've been working on building some chairs for my patio. I actually have a video I'll link here of the prototype I made some time ago. But as I work through this project, I'm having to develop new skills and do different things. And one of those now is I need to be able to cut a taper for one of the rails on the chairs. I thought I could get away with just doing a quick temporary board, screw some stop blocks onto it, and just rip it through the table saw. But it actually didn't come out very accurate. So I realized I really need to make a real tapering jig that will do a much better job. In this video, I'm going to show you the jig that I made based on a lot of research looking at other people's YouTube videos, and then I'll make it, and hopefully it will turn out well. Unlike many of my other projects where I make them and they suck and end up doing them again. Making the jig at a 1/2 inch Baltic birch. I want it to be the height of my fence, which means I'll need to be about 2.5 inches tall. And I'm thinking lengthwise, I will go 24 inches seems good because that'll cover most of my table saw. It should give me plenty of surface for the board to rest against as I push it through the blade. So we need to rip down 4 pieces of Baltic birch, 24 inches by 2.5 inches. And I want to laminate 2 of those together, so I'll end up with a full 1-inch piece for the 2 sides of the jig, just to make it more rigid. Let's cut those pieces. So now I just said we were going to do these 2.5 by 24 inches, but I lied. Actually, this is what's called being flexible. Actually, went ahead and made it 2 3/4 just to give myself a little bit of extra height on top of the fence, just so that I don't have to worry about if you'll find out later. And instead of 24 inches, we're going to be slightly less than that because the board that I had is about 47.5 inches long, and just going to use what I have. So we're going to just split this in half, and that's what my length will be. So we'll cut this one to 23.5. Now let's rip those on the miter saw. So do you ever buy tools and they just sit around for a long time and not get used? I bought this glue dispenser a while back when I was doing a lot of glue ups. Actually, I bought it after I finished those glue ups, thinking I would need it for my next set of glue ups. I have yet to try it. So today seems like a perfect day to give it a shot. Just fill this up with glue and use it to glue these pieces together. It's good to be well stocked on glue. Don't want to run out in the middle of the job. Okay, we got all of our parts now. We have our 2 pieces to make up the fence of the jig. I have a hinge that will be mounted to the front. We have a handle that I will mount on the fence here to make it much easier to push the jig through the table saw. Then we have our piece to hold the angle in place once we set it. Then we'll have permanent screw on this side. I'll take a T-bolt that's going to come up through the bottom, go through there with a knob, so then this adjusts. Next steps is to cut all the holes for the bolt to go in. We're going to do a dado to get the handle glued into place. Then we'll attach the hinge to the front. We're getting close. So what we learned in that last clip, boys and girls? Always hold your piece all the way through the cuts. It also takes me to the first thing that I don't like about this jig. And that is it does not provide any sort of holding support for the board you're cutting. That all depends on you and your fingers holding that board all the way through. It turned out fairly nice looking, but it really kind of sucks to use it. What I am disappointed at is it's not very accurate. As I tried to use it, actually getting it lined up with just the single support right here, it actually flexes and moves more than I wanted it to. I can tell you, like even the hinge at the front just has too much play in it, and so it does not cut accurate enough for me. So what does that mean? That means come back for a future video when you see me build a tapering jig all over again. And this time I'm going to build one of those sled styles because I think that will actually turn out much better than this style. But I am actually kind of proud of the handle on this. That was the first time I ever did the style of being able to drill and put in some dowels to pin something in place. And that worked really well. And I actually liked how that looks. So instead of wasting all this work, I am going to take off the second half and keep this half as a big ass push stick for my table saw. Maybe I should relabel this video to big ass push stick. Or we'll take them out of how to build a jig that doesn't work. Either way, I learned a few things. Got to spend some time in the shop. But actually what's funny for me is when I was recording before building this, when I said, you know, I build things and I ended up having to do it again, I didn't actually think that that was going to be this project. How ironic is that? I don't know. I appreciate you watching this video. If you're so inclined, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it if you'd hit the like button or leave a comment down below. I really enjoy it when I get feedback on my videos. I do respond to all the comments that are left, so you know, if you've got a question or you got some feedback for me, go ahead and leave it down there below. And I think that is going to wrap up this video, and I will see you in the next one. Really appreciate that. Let me say appreciate 3 or 4 more times. So, I always have to start with so. Don't use the word so. Get it out of your head.